All right. About to get in my car, and then no key detected. The key's right here. What do you mean? Oh no. What the hell? Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new hairdo. Finally chopped off the redneck do that I had. So what we have here is that my battery just keeps on dying. It just keeps on draining. I don't understand why. I popped the hood, I checked the alternator. Everything seems fine. It's just I leave the car sitting out overnight, then all of a sudden the next morning it doesn't start. It happens every single time. You have what's called a sports power automatic battery charger. You can actually use this for a trickle charge as well to kind of keep it on a almost like a lower amp setting, so that way it's more of a trickle charger. It has different settings. This was passed down from my dad after he moved away out of state, so it was more or less like something that I can use, and it's never failed me since. You can even do 100 amp. This is something that I actually use on the vehicle to charge up the battery, and when I did that, it would start, no problem. It would run, no problem, for the day. And then you leave it overnight, no lights are on, nothing is going on. Well, I am fully convinced that it is the battery. I know that these vehicles do have alternator issues, but the alternator does seem fine. The alternator was truly bad. I would be getting all sorts of weird issues. So when I shut off the car and I turn it back on within like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, same day, right? It'll start back up, no problem. You leave it overnight and you start it the next day. Uh-oh, we have no power to crank. There's no power to crank the engine. Well, that tells me that our battery is bad. We're actually gonna swap out the battery. So we're gonna lift the trunk. Excuse the mess. I got coolant in here. I got all sorts of nonsense. So underneath here, where your spare tire is, you can see your battery off to the right side here. Basically what you want to do is uncap this, put this aside, and then make sure you know where your connections are, what kind of size you need. Loosen these up and bring them out. Now there is a specific order in which they say to disconnect and connect batteries. I'll tell you that in a second, but let me show you the new battery. All right, I ordered this one off of Rock Auto, of course. That's where you get the best prices for your parts. Set that aside. Packed this pretty good. Let me try to get this all situated and put down the phone. All right, what we have here is our AC Delco. It's an 850 CCA. That's cold cranking amps, or cranking amps rather. So this will help us get back on track with the battery. So it has these nice handles that you can lift up. I don't know if I could do this one-handed. Yeah, I could. But first and foremost, let's disconnect the battery, and we'll show you the steps for that. Now, upon inspection, it looks like 730 CCA rating, and that's your cranking amps. So ours will be a little bit better. So one of the procedures that we want to do is we're going to just take this wrench, loosen this puppy up. Ooh. Loosen that puppy up. Basically what we want to do is kind of wiggle it, just a wiggle, or just pull the whole thing off, that's fine. Okay, so what you actually want to do is you do want to remove your negative first, then your positive, and then in reverse going back on. Your positive on first, then your negative. And so what that's going to do is it's going to eliminate any kind of likelihood of some sort of short or electrical damage to happen. Take the positive off. Should be able to slip right off here. That is where the hold down is for this battery. So just find a socket for that. I believe it is also a 10mm. And then you should be able to get your battery out. It's easier to get something longer reach so you don't have to sit here and diddle with it, because it is a tight space. Okay. There's no way I was going to be doing that by hand. Get your battery out. Whoa. All right. And keep in mind, your old battery has kind of like a ventilation tube that goes around the positive end. hole right here. And then a rubber hose attaches to that. And that is located right there. All right, now with your new battery in place, make sure to reattach that tube back there. I don't know if you can see it. Kind of do a more wide angle. No, that doesn't help? Okay. That piece right there. Reconnect that hose. Is that better? All right. Now we're gonna rip this off. So with the vent tube connected, this positive terminal cover has like a little cap like this connected to it. Where you're gonna be putting this is on the negative side. You'll see a hole on the negative side. And basically, if you find it, we'll tap that in or push it in. There we go. Just a little push. You want to cap off that side. So that way if it vents, it has nowhere else to go but this hose here. Now to put this hold down back on, place it as so, or like so. Oh my gosh. Put the screw back in and have that all hunky-dory. All right, now with the hold down in place, kind of got the first few threads going. That ain't going nowhere. See it? Yeah, that's not going anywhere. That's not going nowhere. All right, now first thing we want to do is, oh God, how did I have this? Put our positive on first. Negative will be, all right, there we go. Cool. And we have light, so we should be able to just start this car no problem, no? So let's put this cap on our positive here. We're good to go. All right, with everything tidied up. I love this trunk lid. So far it's been treating me well. I do have to remove the spring, I think, because this is starting to lift up. The body gap does not make a whole lot of sense to me. This side is fine, but you can definitely see it in the headlights, or I'm sorry, the tail lights, how these are lined up. They're not at all. So I think I have to remove that spring on this side, do a little bit more testing. All right, so we're just gonna get in the vehicle and we should be able to. Oh. What do you mean key not detected? Oh, yeah, it literally meant key not detected. It wasn't a serious problem. All right, let's try again. Oh yeah, baby. We got some low tire pressure. That's all right though. Looking good. Looking good. So that, my friends, is how you change a battery on a Dodge Charger, Dodge Challenger. Basically anything LX platform will do. It's probably all the same. Hellcats, you name it. So if this helped you, you know what to do. We'll see you guys in the next one. We're going to be trying out... What's the next video? We're going to be trying out a thermostat delete. Hear me out. A thermostat delete kit. So we can resolve this thermostat failure all the time, because my temperatures are going, I'm at a 180 T-stat right now. I'm tuned for 180 degrees. It just keeps on going up to like 190, 200. Sometimes I'll see like 210 if I really get on it. It just seems a little too hot for what I'm tuned for. So something is wrong with these thermostats, man. They just always are failures, especially Motorrad garbage. So, and unfortunately our auto parts stores and everything else is just absolutely riddled with Motorrad stuff. So stay tuned for that. We're going to do a thermostat delete and see where we go from there. It's actually going to be cheaper to do the delete than anything else. So we'll see how this works. Last step is clean up after yourself before your wife gets mad at you. And then last step, whoever Jim's VW built with Rock Auto Parts is, you are now on the next, on the Hall of Fame. See you guys on the next one.